Mr. Oluyemi Adeosun, the brain behind this HR mentorship training series, is unavoidably absent this evening. So I am your facilitator for this tonight section. I'm also coordinating. So once again, my name is Adedayo. Please, is my screen visible? I need to be sure we can both see the screen. Please confirm, please.
Yes, we can.
All right. Okay. Thank you. My name is Adedayo. I'm an HR professional with over 10 years of experience in industry ranges from real estate, manufacturing, retail businesses, and telecommunications. So I currently work with VDT Communication as the head of human resources, and my technical expertise ranges from performance management, talent acquisition, employee relation, training and development, payroll management, HR technology, and innovation. So I'm an associate member of CIPM and also a certified professional in SPHRI. So also I have my BTech in computer science. So once again, thank you so much for joining tonight's section. And the topic we'll be discussing tonight is titled Enhancing HR Report for Board Presentation. Enhancing HR Reports for Board Presentation. And some of the things we'll be talking about tonight, we have talking about definition of terms, HR reports, and HR reports to the boards. So we'll also be having discussion about HR report to board, the differences between HR reports and other type of HR reports. And also, of course, importance of HR report to board presentations, and some in-depth discussions about how to prepare HR reports ahead of board presentations. And also, we are going to also be looking at the technical, it's a sample, a detailed sample, and HR reports to the board. Then we'll take the question and answer, and we wrap up for the day. Thank you. Hello. Okay, please, if you have questions, you can raise up your hands or put the feedback in the chat box. Okay. So HR reports. So when we talk about HR reports, I believe that in the course of our career journey, we've had to, of course, prepare one or two types of reports. It could be management reports or the normal MPR reports or annual reports or different kind of reports. So I would like to have feedback on some type of report that we've had to prepare as an HR professional. That will need to make it engaging so that we can get the best use of our time this evening. So what HR reports, what type of HR reports are you familiar with as an HR person? Can't seem to see the chat box. Is there anybody putting anything in the chat box? Just to be sure we can hear me and I can also hear. Sorry, Rocky Bat, are you saying something?
Don't know what she said.
Okay. So can I go on? I can't seem to see the chat box from here, so maybe help. All right. Okay, thank you. Navigate to that side. Oh, okay, that's fine. Thank you. So I asked a question that what kind of reports are we familiar with as an HR professional? This will also help us to be able to tailor this section. All right, okay. Thank you, Rocky Back. Thank you. Okay, so HR reports. So HR reports is the process of collecting, analyzing, and presenting data and information related to various aspects of human resources within an organization. So when you talk about HR report, it has to do with the process of collecting data, analyzing, and presenting data. And like I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you have to, like, okay, you've been called as an HR professional to come and prepare a report. So it's another thing to know what to put together. And it's another thing to know how to analyze your data. And it's also another aspect to be able to present it in the right format. So those are the things we'll be talking about this evening: collecting data, analyzing the data, and presenting it in the right, in a manner that suits the business. So those are the key things we'll be talking about this evening. So, so there are different data. It could include, we have such things as your recruitment, employee headcounts, employee turnover, training and development, diversity and inclusion, performance management, and compliance and regulation, compliance within law, labor laws and regulations. So those are the metrics that you capture. So when we talk about HR reports to the board, HR reports to the board is more comprehensive. So we are talking about a comprehensive document that provides senior leadership members with insight into various aspects of the organizational human resources. So when you talk about HR reports, we are talking about, it's a summary document that talk about key things that you do as an HR person. So there's this saying in the past, or maybe now, yeah, some organizations still have that notion that, okay, the management, they don't listen to HR. But that narration has changed. They said they listen more to finance because finance talk about numbers, they give them figures. But that is no longer the trend because HR also, we have our data, and also we are also one of the most important assets in an organization. So they are going to listen to the HR person that presents and properly analyze data for them. So those are the things we'll be talking about this evening in more detail. Okay, so all right. So the board of directors. So I have some definition here. In a corporate context, the board of directors is a group of individuals elected by shareholders to present their interests and oversee the management of the company. So the board member, they set corporate policies, they make major decisions, and appoint key executives. So when we talk about board of directors, they are key members. They are key. Individuals that protect the interests of the shareholders. So it's very important. For example, if I join an organization today, the first thing I'm going to, as part of my onboarding plan, the first key things I also look out for, I study the management staff. Who are the management staff? So is there a board in this organization? It's not every organization that has board, but some corporate organizations do have board members. And these are people that you don't get to see every day. They only come, they don't even, they have some set of people they look out for. So it's very important to identify who are the key members of the organization so that you'll be able to tailor your HR strategies, your initiatives, to be able to suit the business need. So it's very important to know they are in the organization. So yes, like I mentioned, they are the key group of individuals elected by shareholders to represent their interests and oversee the management of the company. And they have their responsibility. So responsibility of board of directors, they provide strategic directions. Don't forget, we said they have key interests. They are the shareholders, so they have major interests. They are protecting their interests. So whatever is going to take them to be able to ensure that the organization is running effectively, they are going to do that. And the board members of organization, they don't want to see everybody. There are some key people they look out for. For instance, I mean, yes, they want to see the finance person in the organization. They are very interested, highly interested in knowing who the head of finance or the CFO of the finance, yes, organization is. So they're interested in meeting the person, and they also want to see the HR, the head of HR in the organization. Yes, because they know that no matter the strategy, they want to be sure that they have the right people in the system that can execute the strategic plan that they have. So yes, also they also want to know, they want to meet the audit. So organization that has audit departments, they want to know the audit and risk person there. So it's not everybody they want to see. So if they want to see the HR, it is very important. It's our responsibility to be able to show them that their interest is protected. Assure them that yes, we can deliver, and their interest as a shareholder is being catered for. So these are the reasons why we are having this type of session. So their responsibility again is to provide strategic directions to the organization and also to ensure accountability. And also they want to be sure that the company is properly structured to attract investment. That's also very key for them to be sure that they know that the company is properly structured to attract investors into the organizations and also provide expertise. These are people from so many years of experience, and they have different type of expertise. So they are also there to provide expertise and also ensure compliance. They are very key on this. Board members, board of directors, they want to be sure that you have enough processes, you have the right processes, the right policies and to ensure that we don't have any litigation issues, etc., etc. So it's very important to be able to, once you join an organization, understand who the board members are so that you can properly tailor your HR strategy to the business need. All right. So here we have the difference between HR reports to the board and also the other types of HR reports. So I categorize these in three forms. So the major difference between HR reports and other type of reports is the audience, the focus, and the level of detail. Audience, focus. Oh, okay. Janice said he cannot hear me. Please, can anybody else hear me? So I'll be sure it's not from my end. Please, can you hear me? Anybody? I think my volume is loud. All right, thank you, thank you. Okay, Jenny, I think it's from your hand. You might need to check something. Right. Okay, so we move on. So the key difference between HR reports to board members, board of directors, and other type of HR reports, we have I said we have the audience. In this instance, now the board. The board is the audience. So, and the focus and the level of detail. So for audience, HR reports are tailored to address their need. So there were the HR reports to board members or board of directors. They are strategic information. It's not a lengthy document. We get to see that as we move on. So they are key high-level documents and provide them with strategic information. And also, unlike your other type of HR report, be it management report or MPR report or biannual or annual report, where you get to show some operational and tactical day-to-day management, whatever, I mean, what you do on a daily basis, you can put them in your normal management report. But unlike the board report is a summary of all this information. The summary of all this information. So another difference is the focus. So the focus is often on strategic HR matters. So when you are going to the board for your board presentation, you are taking along, you are presenting your key HR matters, such as talent acquisition, succession planning, organization development, and HR contribution to business objectives. I would like to say this here because I've had to deal with that too, and I get to see some feedback on that when talking with some colleagues. So they said, okay, it is still recruitment I'm going to post, even in my management or no matter the report I'm presenting or preparing. Yes, it is still this data you're going to use. But the manner or the way in which you analyze and present it is different. Like I said earlier, I said there's a difference between, there's a key difference between, okay, the data I want to present, then there's this aspect of analyzing the data, then there's another aspect of presenting that data in a way to suit the business need. If you have the data, if it is not properly analyzed, then we're going to be having it. So analyzing the data, presenting it in the right format. So yes, to suit the business needs. So that is the focus. It's a strategic HR matters. We are talking on key things, key outcomes, or key areas, even from your talent acquisition, organization planning, organization development, and the HR contribution to the business objectives. Don't forget, they are trying to project, to protect their interests. They want to be sure that the organization is very sustainable. And HR, we are the one that is managing the key, all the resources, the assets. So they want to be sure we have the right organizational capacity to be able to deliver whatever strategy that they've set out to achieve. So yes, still under focus, other HR reports. Yes, we focus on the specific needs of the audience. It will cover operational HR activity, such as recruitment updates. For example, in your management reports, when you're presenting reports, you are showing them recruitment updates in sales department. Okay, you've recruited this is pending. In what other department? Like in brands and marketing. Okay, no, yeah, let me use another. Okay, maybe in accounts department, you recruited 2 people or 1 person exited, so you are yet to recruit. So that's in management report, other type of report. You are giving them some operational updates, unlike board reports. So you're not going there with such kind of information. So we need to get a difference so that we can better prepare this and suit the business again. And again, in this instance, we are dealing with the code. So level of detail. So the level of detail for your board reports, it's typically summarize information and high-level insights to help board members make strategic decisions. It may include key metrics the trends. You need to show, you want to show them the trends, what has happened. You want to do a comparative analysis, what happened last year to what is happening or what happened this year. So trends and recommendations. What are you doing as an HR to solve the challenge you've identified? Of course, there's a problem. You notice you've identified a problem, but what are you doing to mitigate that risk? So those are the things that will also be included in your report to the board. Don't forget, they need that information to be able to make some key strategic decisions, not the operational day-to-day. They are not really so what's it called, to go into the day-to-day operation. They want to see the key outcome of your day-to-day operation. So those are the things that will be included in your board report. So other type of HR reports, still under the level of detail we're talking about, it may include a more detailed information relevant to audience role or department. Yes. For example, it might include data on turnover rates by department or training completion rates, departmental. So these are the other type of reports, maybe your normal biannual or annual, or that is not a board related. So that is a different when you're dealing with when you're presenting or preparing. Okay, so I have some message chat box. Oh, you did share any slide. Is it intentional? No, is my slide not okay? Somebody is already responding to that. Okay. Okay, thank you. I think I can move on. So yes, so HR report is more detailed and high level insights. It's not a lengthy document, very brief, and to address some key HR initiatives. All right. Yeah. Okay, so importance of HR reports for board presentation. So why is this report important? Why did they call for it, or why did they need to meet with the HR person or HR, the head HR, yes, HR director, to come present this kind of report to them? They want to be sure that it's strategic alignment. So HR reports help align HR initiative with the organization's strategic objectives. And I would like to mention this thing. Whatever we do on a daily basis, in our different places of work, we need to always look at the goal. We need, whatever we do on a basis, what is the end result of this thing? For example, I'm doing a TGIF. I personally, what is it? Why am I doing this TGIF? Am I doing it for retention? If I'm doing, or engagement, yeah, am I doing it to make our staff engage? Then if you are doing it if the goal, depending on what you want to initiate, if the goal is for to increase the engagement level of staff, then you better roll out a survey after that, after implementing that initiative, so that you can get your data. So these are one of the ways also you get your data, because when you get to when it's time to present or to do, you need to also see the effect of that thing. So as an HR, I would advise us that whatever we're doing, let's try to look at the end so that we can start getting your data. It is not when we want to present or when we are being called upon to come and present our report that you want to now start putting out the data or start looking out for data. Whatever you do, start gathering data. Data gathering at an early stage is very, very important. Especially when when the initiative is still fresh. Maybe you need implement transport subsidy for your staff, or different things. It could be TGIF, or you do something in the workplace. It could be updating some, maybe it could even be as simple as updating all your job description. It could be as simple as that. Or you need a staff audit or something like a payroll audit, thereabout. So you need to start measuring the effect of that. When you did this, what happened? When you did this, what happened? So those are the things you also, it's part of the data gathering. So that the essence of this is be able to align that initiative to the organizational objectives. You want to be able to tell them that, okay, you did this so that our staff could be able to do this and that. So that is strategic alignment. Another key importance of HR report is the board members. It is data-driven decision making. HR report provides data-driven insight that support board members in making informed decisions regarding workforce management, talent acquisition, retention strategies. They want to see that, okay, what you understand what they are set out to do, and you are rolling out or implementing your HR strategies, initiatives in line with that objectives. So it enables them to be able to make data-driven decisions. So risk management, in this aspect, they can identify potential risk and challenges related to workforce management, compliance, diversity and inclusion, employee relations, and legal matters. These are also very key for them. So, because like I said earlier, they want to protect their interests. They want to protect the interests of the organization. So it's very important that it's still part of, they want to be sure. Another word for this, I use that organizational capacity. They want to see how strong the organization in terms of capacity. And when you're talking about capacity, there are so many things that entails. It could be the skill, it could be the policies that you have as an HR. How often are we updating all our HR policies? And how often are we doing? Is another thing to update, is another thing to make staff aware. So what are the programs that we have in place to ensure that all these policies are being, our staff are complying? What is the compliance rate of all our policies? That is also one aspect of it. So these are because they want to see how we are trying to mitigate the business risk. So this is also very highly important to them. And don't let us forget again, they are shareholders, or they are trying to protect the interest of the shareholders. So, and they want to be sure that the business is sustainable, that to give them a return on investment. And performance evaluation, of course, they also want to be, they want to, of course, most of the, board of directors, they want to be sure that the company is performance driven. So what is the performance system that we have in place? So how is it profitable to the business? How are we aligning our day-to-day performance appraisers as an HR to the business appraisers? So that will also talk about that also as we move on. So how we aligning that? That's also very key. So transparency and accountability, it provides stakeholders, including board members, with visibility into HR-related activity, initiatives, and outcomes. Yes. Legal and regulatory, I've mentioned this, I've talked about the other risk. Legal and regulatory compliance, HR employee ensures the organization remains compliant with applicable labor laws, regulations, and industrial standards. Like I said, the recruitment policy, how often is it updated? Is it in compliance or in alignment with the labor laws and regulations? So things like this is what they want to see in the HR report. So here I'm going to be talking about how to prepare your HR report ahead of the board presentations. So what do you do to prepare? What are the things you need to do ahead of the board presentations? Okay, so like I said earlier, you need to understand your board expectation. Start by understanding who are these board members in the first place. So are they what type of report do they like to see? So every organization has different what's it called? Different model. They have different model. They have different cultures. So you need to understand the kind of business you have. The report or the format that you use in company A might not be the same thing you're going to use in company. So you need to understand who you are. Don't let us forget to talk about audience. The audience is very, very important. So what type of audience do they have? Do we have? So that you can tailor your report to suit the business need. So here we have understand your board expectation. So one of the way you can do this is to review previous reports. So if you get to a new organization and you know that, okay, you are going to be dealing with board, if you are aware of that, so you need to review previous, even if you have not done it before, that's another thing. Even if you have not had to meet any or have to present any reports, such reports for board before, the first thing that can really give you heads up is by reviewing the previous reports. Okay, you'll be meeting the board in this organization. Fine. Can you have the previous reports? Ask for it. Meet your line manager or some management staff that has been meeting the board. Look at the reports. From the reports, you can get an insight. You have an idea that okay, these are the things they talk about. So whatever you have, you can always do. It's very, very important. Another way where you can understand their expectation is to consult with board members. Of course, you might not have that opportunity. It's not everywhere that can have the opportunity of meeting the board members. So you might just need to, if you have that, some people have the opportunity, maybe they are referred actually through one of the board members, because some board of directors do actually refer staff. They refer candidates, very suitable candidates. If you are through that channel, then you can meet with them and get the expectation. But if you're not, it's fine. You can also have access to secretaries, because their secretaries could be the one that set up the meetings for the board or send the minutes of meetings, something like that. So you can have access to them. Hello, you're aware that this, can you have an expectation? The person will likely review all the expectation of the board. So another way where you can get your information or to understand the expectation is to review past minutes of meeting. So when you have past minutes of meeting, you have an idea of what is being talked about, what they normally talk about. So you look at the agenda, then you look at the action point. So the action point will give you, okay, this is what they want, or this, so you have an idea, so you can build on those such things. Another interesting feedback is communicate with leadership. Do you know this? Who is the CFO of the company? Who is the CEO? You can meet with them, have a chat with them, try to discuss, okay, you're aware that you'll be meeting the board, and that's the point. It could be biannual, it could be quarterly, it could be, depending on how they want it. So communicating with them will help you to have an idea as well on the expectations. All right. Okay, so yeah, benchmark with industry practice. So you also need to do your own research, do your own work. This is very, very important. You cannot, you have to do your own assignment to research what is applicable, what is trending now or what is the business. So yeah, this will also help you to get some insight, the expectation of the board, and it's enable you to properly prepare your reports. Okay, so here we have gather relevant data, collect data and metrics relevant to board interest. Collect data and metrics relevant to board interest. So we've talked about how to understand the expectation. Now you have an idea from all those facts. You've done your assignment, you've contacted the secretaries, or if you cannot do that, you can also review the past, the previous minutes of meeting and all that. So now it's now to start putting your data together. So what is, look at the staff that this is, you play with your different data. You can, if you have some good software, go to your HRIs or download some employee data. Play what's the employee turnover rate, what's the recruitment metrics, how does it take? So just study the training and development. How is the training done? Is it really meeting the needs? Are we just doing so many, are there, so many trainings that doesn't suit the business need, or are we not even doing enough? So this statistic is going to really help you to know how to channel and effectively put forward your reports. Diversity metrics, what's the diversity rate in the company? Is it, so these are the things we also need to look at because it's very important to them as well. Employee satisfaction score, our staff, are they engaged with job? Are we actually equipping them the right way? And any other key information, any other metrics that you can lay your hands. So all this needs to be properly put together, analyzed, and put forward to them. Don't forget, as we said, when I was talking about the importance of the importance, the difference between it's a very short information, but it must be well equipped. Well equipped. It's not a lengthy document. As short as it is, it has to be properly equipped so that it can suit the need of the board members. All right. So present key HR metrics. We've talked about this before. Present key HR metrics and performance indicator relevant to the board interest. So when you are using your charts, you're using your graphs, you are using your visuals, it has to be easy to understand. It has to be very easy to understand. It doesn't have to be, it has to be properly, not something too many colors, or especially when you're dealing with elders or older board members. So of course, some of the Okay. Somebody said, at what interval can you do a survey on employee satisfaction? That's a question, one of the questions from me. It depends. It depends on, of course, it depends on your policy. If it is biannual, it could be satisfaction level. It could be biannual, it could be annual. It depends. I do mine 2 times a year. I like to do biannual. And yes, there are different. It depends on how you want it in the organization. Okay, so I think I can do it. All right. So still on preparing your HR report ahead of the presentation. So present key metrics. So yes, I was talking about using charts, using your visuals. So it depends on your board again. So present your visual in a way that is very easy to understand, not so many information at the same time. So this is very, very important so that you can easily flow with it, understand it, and make decision based on this data. So yeah. Okay, so provide updates on HR initiatives. So we have a sample on this one, but yes, you need to give updates on HR initiatives. What are you currently working on? What project are you working on? Are you trying to implement a new software? Yes. So if you are doing this, you need to also give them you need to give them that information. So when you do this, when you implement this, what is going to be the effect? Or what is the business impact of that? What is the business impact of that initiative? So you need to talk about this. Do you have plans to do PVP? Is there any changes on the performance evaluations? Whatever changes that you're currently working on or trying to implement, so you need to provide them. And also, it's very important, you need to highlight your achievement. This is very, very important. You need to highlight how whatever you have done has impacted on the business. This is very important. They want to see the flow, and that talks about the transparency and accountability mentioned earlier. They want to see how you have actually impacted the system as an HR person. Don't forget, we are the one managing the most important asset of the organization. So it is very, very important that you show them that, okay, that's their interest is assured. So yes, you want to talk about the achievements or the progress. If you have not achieved it, if it's maybe you made quarterly or thereabouts. So if it's progress, but you have to let them know the progress made and challenges encountered. This is very important. A lot of us don't want to put challenges. It's better let it be there so that they can, if any challenges you are going through, you are having in your any key major challenges, present it, let them see. It could be as simple as or as common as high turnover. High turnover is also let them know that okay, high turnover, that's it. I mean, that's a trend. So it's affecting us. You also put it there. This is the challenge. But you also let them know what are you doing. They know already. Some of them know they have. They are also, some of them are also bored to other organizations. So they know what is happening in companies. They have an idea. And even if they don't, put it there. Don't forget, we said they have expertise. So they can give you insight. They can give you I've gotten so many feedback from such before when I put my challenge and I say, okay, this is what I'm doing. So they can tell me, okay, yeah, what you're doing is good, but you can also do this, you can also do that. So you need those information. You need those information to be able to work effectively and deliver those value to them. So it's very important to channel that as well. Let them see the challenge and let them see what you are doing to reduce this or the impact the system. I think there's an example of that also as well. And also future plans. Any long-term plan you're working on, put it there for them to see. Include any other relevant data or evidence to support anything that's going to help aid the present. Your report is also very important to put those things in there. Okay. I've mentioned this one way or the other. Address challenges and opportunity. Discuss any challenges, opportunity facing the organization from an HR perspective. Be transparent about areas needing improvements and outline strategies for addressing them. Also, show opportunities for growth and development within the It's also very, very important to see what is the opportunity for growth. What is the opportunity for growth? This can come from maybe from your headcount analysis. What are just different things? What have you, okay, maybe if you are new in an organization, maybe when you join, of course, you are expected to do your own SWOT analysis. So you've done your SWOT analysis. What do you realize? What did you identify? Is there a way you can actually save cost? Is there a way you can actually increase the organization capacity? Was there anything we are doing before that we are not properly, that we need to stop doing? So those SWOT analysis, you can put it together and also present it in your report. You have opportunities for growth if you do this and do that. Or maybe it could be something as simple as if we introduce commission policy, other companies or other employees who can also join the sales and marketing team. Everybody should be able to sell. Something as simple as that. So that's what they want to listen to. Of course, every business owner wants to listen to that. Anything that will make them to get more revenue, they are interested. Anything that proper way they are interested in that. So all those your initiatives, all those plans that you know that if you bring it forward, it will help the business. Please put it forward to them so that you can get your approval or yes, more ideas for now to build. Please, are you with me? I've not. Okay, can you please let me know if you are still fully here, so to be sure I'm not just talking to myself. Hello, please, can you hear me? Can I continue?
Yes, can it go on?
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so thank you, Fatima. Thank you. All right, so another important, make recommendations. These are the mentioned what we've done. So make recommendations based on your analysis of the HR data and landscape. You have done your data, you've analyzed data, you've seen, month on month or day by day, you've seen the data, or you've seen the system from the HR perspective now. So what have you noticed? Make your recommendations for actions. These recommendations should be actionable. It should be a smart recommendation, should be actionable. When we talk about smart, we think about is this specific, is being measurable, it's time bound, it's achievable, yes. So it has to align with the organization's strategic objectives. And another thing, provide rationale and supporting evidence for each recommendation. So tell a story behind it so that they can easily understand and see that you are there to help them deliver. You are there to make them achieve the organizational goal. So this is very, very important. Your recommendation is how valuable or how rich that recommendation is also very, very important. So from your data, you put all these things together and they can see that, yes, we are here to deliver them on, to assure them that their interest is assured or is protected. All right. Okay, so then we review and finalize. Review your reports. This after you prepare your reports. Review your reports to ensure accuracy. Data can be very funny, so you need to be able to be sure do your accuracy very well, because don't forget, once they spot an error, especially when you're dealing with data, their attention span or their interest in your report is questionable. So when they see that, they are not likely to believe it. So please do your assignment very, very well. Review, and again. Keep reviewing, especially when you deal with data or any other thing. So please review very well. Be sure that their report is very accurate and is clear. So it's clear, it's accurate, and it's coherent. Then seek feedback from colleagues or from other stakeholders if necessary. So you might need to also speak with other, it could be other people that meet, like I said earlier, it's not everybody the board members want to see. They want to see the finance. Of course, that's usually the first person they want to see. They want to see the finance person. They want to see the HR person, see the audit and risk. Some also want to see the sales. Yeah, some companies also want to see the person behind the sales, the person bringing in the revenue. They want to see the strategy, and all that from the person. So it's also very important. It's also, yes. So, you might also want to speak with them. Okay, just review your details. Some of your report details to just see whether, you are on point. Accuracy is very, very important. This cannot be, I have to emphasize this more than once. This is very important. Your data has to be accurate. If you are giving them, you are doing an head count analysis. So do your head count, be sure that your data you're not flipping, you're not bringing employee that are visited into your data as being repeated. So just be careful. Do that assignment over and play with if you want to analyze it in Excel format, or you have a software that does that for you. Be sure you are dealing with an accurate information. So clarity and coherence. So yes, if necessary, make necessary revision and finalize the reports again and again before presenting to the board. Please don't. Yes, William, we are going to have after this slide, inside this slide, it's also another part we're going to be discussing, fleshing it out one after the other. I have a presentation sample in this slide. Thank you, William. All right. So if necessary, make necessary revision and finalize the reports for presentations, before presentation today. Okay. All right, okay. So here I have a sample of HR. So I talked about having okay. All right, so here I have a sample of an HR report. The first part of my slide is the headcount analysis. So when you're presenting, there are usually different types. It can be descriptive, then it can be, like for your information type of reports. And the other part that is very descriptive, where you have to describe and explain and explain. And in alignment with the subject again, enhancing the HR reports for board presentation. You already have your reports. You know what you want to talk about. But now you want to enhance that report. You want to show it to them in a way that will suit their needs. So this is an example I have here. I want to tell them, I just want to give them the details of headcounts. My headcounts, the headcounts in the entire organization. So, and to the left-hand side, I have the department in my organization. I have executive office, I have admin, I have audit, I have customer support, I have R&D, I have some technical units, I have finance and accounts. So, but it's very, I want to present to them just the headcounts. So these are what I'm going to do, what I did or what I'm going to do to enhance this report. So I've talked about executive office. We have this number of male, we have this number of female, then this is the total, we have admin in this. To the left-hand side, I mean. So so in total, for example, I'm telling them that, okay, in total, I have 49 female, 299 male, and this is just a skeletal figure. So I have 49 female, then 299 male, and grand total I have 349, okay, or 360. So to the right-hand side, so I want us to look at the right-hand side so that we can really focus on the enhancement part of the reports. So now I'm giving them, if they are not likely, of course they will listen to you when you're talking about the headcount. They will listen to number of male, number of female, number of this, number of that. They are looking at it from their own perspective. But when you start talking about the right-hand part, they will listen because I'm now giving them the classification based on salary grade or based on salary structure. So I'm giving them my report now that, okay, in executive office, sorry, this CEED, those are the salary structure. For example, executive, I'm talking about chief executive, you're talking about your ED, you're talking about your general manager, that's the GM, or the DGM, the AGM, the senior manager, the assistant manager, then the senior officer. So you are giving them the classification in terms of salary structure. If they have not been fully listening, they are likely to turn around and look at your screen very well because they want to see the distribution of staff in terms of their salary. So they want to know that, okay, in executive office, one person is like executive, two other person are the salary. I'm talking about salary wise, they already know, they have it, they approve it before you are using it. So they have an idea of what they have an idea of salary grade. So, okay, you are telling me that in executive office, one person is senior officer. Okay, fine. In admin, manager, so officer, we have 3, assistant officer, we have 5 people on that salary grade. Okay, so now going down, after breaking everything down, I'm talking about, so looking at the third to the last row, where I have the total. So in total, I'm telling them that most of our staff in SYZ company fall under officer level, salary grade level. Most of our staff in SYZ company fall under the salary grade level. That is about 96. That's where I have 96. And the next one to 96 is, okay, this is 110, so that's not really so relevant. So the next one to that is senior officer, that is 42. So 42, 38. So distribution is not heavy at the top. There's a pyramid structure, and that is one of the best structure when you're talking about leadership or organizational, what's it called? The leadership pyramid. There's a pyramid structure. So it is not high at the top. We are not plunging the top. The bottom is also wide, giving room for transitioning to the top or moving along the career cadre. So they can easily see that, okay, we don't have much people earning. So, of course, we have to just show them that, okay, the distribution is balanced. That is what I think is showing them. So I have been able to improve this report by showing them the distribution of staff in terms of salary structure. I'm not just giving them the headcount alone, not just telling them the number of people in the department. I'm also giving them more insight about the cadre of people, salary cadre, salary grade, distribution of people in that department. I don't know if that's yes. So that is also something we need to look at. It doesn't have to be this particular structure. It depends on what you have in the organization. So you have a structure, just put it there, or it could be, yeah, yes, it could be any other thing, but that is what I always prefer to use. So salary grade, it helps them to see the distribution of staff within that, within the organization. So another way is also, okay, so to the right-hand side, you could also want to show them if your organization has people, this is applicable for people that have, maybe you are, you have, what's it called, branches all around the country, within the country, I mean, within the country, you have up countries, you have different type of, yeah. So you may also want to show them. But if not, even if it is within Lagos, if you have different, maybe you have outlets within Lagos, maybe you are working in a pharmaceutical, for example, pharmaceutical company, so you have your head office is located at Victoria Island, and you also have branches in mainland, you have in Surulere, you have in Ikeja. You also want to tell them, show them the distribution of staff per location. So normally in South, we have 6%, in West, you have 6%, in Lagos. So what this is going to do is, like I said, it doesn't have to be all, up countries alone. You might also focus on a particular geographical, location. It could be island, it could be. So what this tells them is that they can see at a glance the distribution of staff. Maybe they have not been noticed. Maybe it's one of the directors has more people or has connections in the north. But just looking at that, why do we have 7% in the north when I can actually, when I have connections, when I can actually grow our business, this is their business. I mean, the board of, when I actually grow our business more in the north. So the person might actually, with this, he or she will have more insights and can actually help make some decisions based on this data. So this also is going to give them more eye-opening. Okay, so is this Surulere? Oh, Surulere is actually, why can't we develop Surulere? There's this, there's that, we have resources there. So our numbers in Surulere is low. We can improve, but without showing that data, it is just all in their head. They might not get the full grasp of what is going on within the organization. So our report is very huge, and it can help them to make strategic business decisions. So also, depending on how you want it, you can also show them the gender distribution. Is it healthy? Is it not healthy? Is it balanced? Or is it the nature of our business? Are we tight in is our recruitment policy gender neutral? Is it, things like that can also use to finance the HR reports. All right. Okay, so here I have the recruitment and exit analysis. I'm showing them the trend of our recruitment. This is an example of the Q1 report. So I'm telling them that, okay, in Q1, we had this number of recruitments, a percentage, depending on how, the best way you want to show them the actual. So the exits. So after doing this, we also want to compare what is the exits in for Q1 2024 to Q1 2023. So how ideal is that? Q1, the exits, okay, I talked about the recruitment. The exit also, you may also want to do a comparative analysis. What's the exit in Q1? What's the exit in Q1 2023 or Q1 2024? So this will also, at a glance, they can have an idea. Okay, our exit turnover from January to March is not as bad as it was last year. So okay, it's okay. Of course, it might not be a true picture because it's just a Q1 report. But of course, we are also, it could mean we are doing well, yes. So it could also mean more is yes to go. We can also tell them that, okay, this is what we have as of today. It's not bad, we're doing well. And we're also trying to put in initiatives to ensure that this is good. I mean, we are retaining this. It's not getting higher. So this is also a way to, like I said, protect their interest. All right. Okay, so length of service, you may also want to include length of service. So who are the highest paying staff? And depending on how your company is. So you may have 7 to 23 years. 34% of staff. So this will also enable them to see who are people that are exiting the company. They are in what category of staff. So is there anything wrong somewhere? So at a glance, they can have an idea and they can make their decision. So of course, your attrition rate, how high, how low is your attrition rate? Is your attrition rate coming from some key staff? The attrition rate, is it coming from some key, high performing staff? Or is it also coming? You might also want to go that granular and give them more information on that. Is it coming from the low performing staff? But for you to be able to do analyze and turnover rates, then you need to also go to your performance appraisals and check the reports. The people that are leaving or the people that are left in Q1, what are their appraisal scores? Or so you may also need to, there are so many buckets of things that you can also bring out to enhance the report for them. So if you're presenting attrition rate, you can just want to tell them the numbers, or you can also go granular by telling, especially maybe when it is very high, or yes, when it is very high, you might also want to analyze that so that they can know at the beginning to really, do we have a deficiency in our recruitment? Are we not recruiting people that are actually, if people within, going back to the length of service now, if people within 0 to 3 years are leaving and the people within 7 to 23 years are staying, what is that saying? Are we having a problem in our onboarding process that's making it to just come and leave, but the old one has seen the system? Are we sure? So yes, there are so many angles to it. So, and that also comes from turnover rate. Turnover rate, you also want to be is it from a higher performing staff or so these are the things that you can use to enhance your reports to the board members. Average age of employee. This can tell you how agile your workforce is. How agile is do we have? I mean, how agile is your workforce, our staff? So there's a formula for this. You calculate the average age of employee. That's the summation of all the employees, then divided by the numbers. So this will give you an average. We just want to. It's just like FYI, it's very good for them. Okay, if the average is 37 or 5 or thereabout, it means that the system is agile. Yes, and also maybe if it's very high, if your average of your system of the employee is like maybe like a 50-year-old or something, it could also mean depends. It could also mean okay, if we have a lot of staff in this cadre, how strong is our HMOs? Are we not going to be having it? Depending on how yes, you analyze and present it for them. So yes, so these are the things that can help to enhance our reports when making presentations to the board. Another important aspect to talk about is employee cost revenue ratios. Employee cost revenue ratios. Here, this information, you can get this information from your finance department. Just ask them to give you the employee cost revenue ratio. You can have the employee cost, but they will have the revenue more. So it's very important to consult with them, even if you have the cost. As an HR, you may also want to confirm that cost with them because your cost might be looking at just one aspect. Because you can just be looking at the salary aspect or maybe the training aspect, but there are other aspects that they capture as finance. So to speak with them to be sure that, so because they know, don't forget, they also are going to present their own. So, we said the report must be very accurate. So, you need to compare the reports before putting it forward to the board members. So, employee cost to revenue ratios shows how profitable the business is. So, if you have a revenue of 2 million and you have employee cost of 400,000, the cost ratio could be 24.82. I'm just this, like I said, this is just an example. So 24. So I compare Q1 and Q1, comparing Q1 2024 to Q1 2023. So look at what happened. Look at the detail, and you might also want to give them an insight on why this is like that. For example, there's more revenue because those are the questions they'll be asking. There's more revenue in Q1. And the employee cost is also high, leaving the CCI cost be very high. But when they even had low revenue, the employee cost was more lower. So which also led to a reduction in the CTI ratio. So why is that? So even if despite the fact that you're getting this information from the you also need to speak with them. You could be the business analyst in finance management or you're the head of finance. Why do we have this information? What happened? What are the activities that we did that made us to have this high cost revenue? Because they are going to ask. So it could be that maybe you increase, of course, increase whatever increment you did, maybe salary, whatever, should actually make them to get more revenue, should not increase your cost. As me, if that is properly done, or we have more sales, you should actually grow your revenue. But you might need to also want to tell them the changes. Maybe you introduce something, you need transport, or you increase your HMO to start catering for family or for them, depending on whatever initiative that led to this. You have to let them know, let them see what happened, and let them see how they can actually advise you better. Yes. So this is just an example of what can be there and a comparative analysis to show where we were before and where we are currently at. And maybe what you are doing to also make it better, because it's also very important to give them, to make recommendations. Yes. Okay. I also said this earlier that it's very important to put some HR major achievements. So these are just an example of what you can have there. If you organize staff wellness programs, like I said, whatever you do in HR, whatever you do on a daily basis, there's an end goal to it. And it's our responsibility to take that outcome. That is the outcome. We are not just doing video day, what's that? Like a movie day, yes, movie day in HR, or those nice things that we used to do, or you buy popcorn and all that. You are doing it for a purpose, and that purpose must be measured. That purpose, you must have a way of getting that. I mean, the feedbacks you get from. So, and the effect of people. If you run a training, the training must, for example, it could be HSC. Maybe, for example, that's just at the top of my head. You did an HSC training for some technical staff. So why did you do that? I mean, why did you implement that training? Because maybe you identify the gap, right? So that gap hasn't been resolved by implementing that training. So do you have? Hello, Kumbi. Please put your mic. Kumbi, please mute your mic. Okay. So yes, so it's very, very important you show the impact of this
hold on. Hello, Kumbi. Please mute your mic, Kumbi.
Kumbi, please mute your mic. Hello, Kumbi, please mute your mic.
See if you can mute him from your end.
I'm trying to do that. I can't seem to do it. I can't do that, but it's fine. She has done that. Thank you. All right. So okay, we're talking about HR major accomplishments. So it's very important to present put forward what you have done and the business impacts. So that initiative you did, what has helped us to achieve as a company? So maybe you notice that you ran you invited your HMO people to talk about some wellness section. So does it address the need? Do you think people enjoy the section? So yes, present it, they put it there. And also you also need to report your performance appraisal. If you are, yes, it's very important. They want to see how performance driven we are as an organization. So what kind of appraiser do you use? Is it 360-degree appraiser? Is it balance scorecard? So what is the status? Is it done quarterly? Is it done biannually? If it's not done, or any changes or anything going on in the appraisal, or maybe you finish your appraiser, you want to tell them number of people that were promoted, number of people that you put on place on PIP, or number of people. So it's very important you show them the status of that ongoing activity. If it is not due, maybe it is due in 2 or 3 months' time, yes, you need to state it there. Let them know that, okay, we are a performance-driven organization and you are putting that in your, in your daily activity. So you're looking at the end goal. So category, I like to categorize so that it can just, yes, why are we running an appraiser? Why do we have an appraiser system? For me, it's for them to be able to see their return on investment or to show how strong the business is in terms of organizational capacity. So alignment of, I have here, this is just an example of what we can put there. Alignment of companies' performance to individual performance. Everybody's trying to, our KPI is we are connecting the dots of individual KPIs to the overall KPIs. So this is also very important. So put the status of performance there. And also any other policies, that's the third one, review the exit policy, recruitment policy. It doesn't have to be there if you don't have anyone, but if you don't have any policies there, they can ask, okay, why not? Because they want to see how we are updating our relevant documents. There are no changes in policy. If there's no changes, but there should be an awareness. There can be an awareness session. Maybe you just maybe you have new hires. There's a way you, apart from doing your onboarding to them, you also, there's a centralized place. If you don't have it, you can also look into that. There's a centralized place where I can just go there and read and all that. So you have to show, there has to be initiative around improving the organization capacity. So we're talking about capacity, we're talking about staff competency, we're talking about the SOMs, we're talking about the other risk or legal matters and things around that. The organization capacity, they want to see how sustainable the business is. So, and these are the things that can help. If you are working on any project, it can, like I said earlier, it can be as simple as JD, operating staff JD. It can be as simple as that. So that's also, if that's something you're working on in your company, you might also want to report to the operating staff JD, because realize that there's need to, the skills requirement is different now. That's a trend. There was a report in, I think, about a year ago showing us the current skills that the business will require in the next 2 or 3 years thereabouts. So that means that what that is telling HR is that if the business is now, for example, now, if you are just, before now, if I can operate Zoom very well like this, and then maybe I'm the head of IT, it could just be as simple as that. I'm talking about years ago. It could just be to be able to operate Zoom and set up meetings or turn on projector. But now, everybody should be able to do that. It's a self-service thing. It's a self-service. You can't, it's not a skill. It's not a big skill that an IT person should have. It's a skill that everybody should have. So what that's saying that if your JD is as way back 5 years, it's not applicable. So it could be HR, it could be part of the, I'm just saying, that is what we are, that could be what you're working on. And it has to be properly presented as well. Because we are doing that to improve our organizational capacity. And it's not just enough to update their JD. You also have to let them know. There's a section where line managers must communicate to them, or it could be part of the appraisal system when they are appraising, or it could also be something like, yes, the KPIs for each, revised KPIs for managers, for HODs to reflect some key expectations from their responsibility to their direct staff. So the HOD is not just looking after his own self again, he's looking after the whole developmental results. So things like that, whatever you're working on, has to be properly presented. It will also be, these are just examples of what we can have the report. You have a commission policy to drive more revenue. Like I said this earlier, maybe for example, we want to introduce some policy that can allow some, not only sales staff that are looking out for money. It can also be other staff. If they know there's a policy, there's an incentive to it, it can better motivate them. So they want to listen to it because they know that it's going to give them more money if they approve for you. Or it could also be, maybe you do some staff audits, and also training and development. These are what number of, you may also want to present them the number of technical trainings that you've done in Q1 or Q2 or biannual or annual, depending on the period you have or the frequency of how you prepare these reports to the management. So these are the things that are very important and that we welcome in your report. Like I said, don't forget the business impact, not just your activities. Let them see the business impact, because if you don't put that there, they can be, they might ask those questions. Okay, so this thing you said you have done, what has he helped us to achieve? So I think those key things you've done and that have that has a very good outcome, yes, put it there. Let them see, and yes. So if you have any upcoming projects as well, you might also want to include them. Let them see what's your plan for the next quarter or for the next period. So it could be succession planning, because don't forget, if you reported in that you have high turnover, so what are you doing to reduce that? Succession planning or replacement planning. Succession planning is long term. Replacement planning is short term, depending on how you want to. You can just say that, okay, you currently have a policy around this, and these are your plans. So you are looking at this to ensure that because you realize that there's a trend. We cannot totally control it. It's every organization experiencing it. What are you doing to ensure that even if this is happening, we are doing this to reduce the impact on business? That's business continuity. So what are you doing to ensure that, okay, so if you have identify your key roles, you have some potential people in-house or outside it's outside, you have a pipeline where you keep those. So yeah, these are the things that they want to see to be sure that, okay, this business will continue, even if despite this economical factor affecting it. And also, it could be something as simple as competency framework. You want to align skills with business objectives. If you have one before, you might want to update, and you want to tell them that you're updating because things are really changing so fast. So, leading that way possibly to increase productivity and competitiveness. It could be job analysis, manpower optimization. This also, I get to see this in recent times now, that managers will come to meet you that, okay, we need a staff because Mr. A has left, so we need to replace. But the question might not be replacement, or the answer from HR department. It's not, replacement is not automatic. Recruitment should not be automatic. It should be based on, because this person is or is leaving or has left, doesn't mean we need this replacement. It could just be we need to, it doesn't mean we need to pick somebody at that level. It doesn't mean we need to pick somebody at that level. So those are your job analysis, a proper manpower optimization that HR needs to look at. It could just be maybe the manager is leaving or has left. Doesn't mean you are recruiting at the managerial level. It can just be an officer level or senior manager level. So those are the things you might also tell them that you are doing to allocate resource efficiently. You are allocating resource efficiently and enhancing workforce productivity. For example, if you have spent so much to invest in some softwares or some ERPs and thereabout, so you've done so much investment, that there should be a reason for that. It's to improve efficiency. It's to improve efficiency. But that is usually back and forth with some managers and all that. So, but yes, they have to know that we are looking at costs, we are looking at goals, we are looking at how we can be efficient. Lean management, things like that. You can also put there as your upcoming projects. And like I said, performance and present workforce. This is very, very important. We need to, as a HR, we need to be monitoring that. That's a very focus. We cannot keep our eyes off. So these are the things that we can do to enhance our HR reports. Okay. Oh, challenges. I said this earlier as well, that you need to improve your challenges. For example, what do you notice after doing your SWOT analysis? Some companies provide remote work options, and your own company doesn't have remote work. So what are you doing to be what's it called, to protect the company so that all our staff will not go to that company that's giving them remote option? So what are you doing in that? So of course, the management they don't want to listen, or I'm just like, sorry. I mean, maybe they don't want to approve that, but you need to let them see. Let them see what you are doing. Let them see the challenge. That's the current risk, and let them see what you are doing to mitigate that risk. It could also be competitive salary. These are just a sample. It doesn't have to be, example of what we can put as challenges. So continuous training, training is an ongoing thing. We have to continue to train. As we train, it should not, because they're leaving, we will not train. We just have to keep training to increase the organization capacity and our strong talent pipeline. So more tips to enhance the report. Engage your board members by highlighting key insights. So highlight key insights and actionable recommendations. Anticipate questions and prepare concise responses. Don't forget, it's not usually, from experience, it's not usually a very long, lengthy thing. So you need to anticipate questions and provide concise response. Manage time effectively to ensure that all the agenda that you've prepared are properly covered during the presentation. Okay, so I've come to the end of the presentation. I don't know if there's any questions or any other feedback. Hello. Any questions, please? You can drop your questions in the chat box or raise up your hands to answer the question.
Please, if you have questions, you can drop it in the chat box so we can read it.
Thank you. Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm on the road, so I can't really type. Can I just quickly say my question?
Yes,
I didn't
please
get that
go on.
very well. Okay.
I said
Okay.
I said I'm on the road, so I can't type really. So can I just say my question?
Yes, go ahead.
Please, can we have the slide? That's one. Then two, coming up with organizational, you said KPIs, and to align it with the personnel KPIs. So how do we come up with organizational KPIs?
Okay. So well, every organization, every company do have their strategic objective for the year, like what they have set out to achieve for the year. For example, this year we want to achieve, we want to make 2 billion profits after tax and all that. So they want to make a total amount of profits, and they want to also do this and that. So organization normally usually have, depending, yeah, most organizations usually have what they have set out to achieve for the year. So, and this this overall strategy, or what's it called, target for the year, is also what will cascade down to every department. Every department also will have that. The organization, every department so has a portion of that overall objective. So when it gets to department, it is now, that is where you, as an HR person, you sit with the head of that department to cascade that department's KPIs or that department's objective into individuals. Take, for instance, if the objective of the department is to